reporting has ever taken place in our village. It has always been a closely knit private place.
I love this place because I just go out of the front door to listen to silence.
From the bottom of the lane right the way round here, there isn't a person that wouldn't speak to their next door neighbour.
Because all the old people are gone now, but it was always a very friendly village.
Oh, he's an excellent thatcher, there's no two ways about that. His father was as well, you know, it's been handed down, you know, the skills right from when he was a child to school and so on.
There's always been farming here, though, a season for everything. For Mr. Rainsford to go thatching, or for Ray to fix the farm machines or the old lawn mower. That's if he's not at a tractor pull or out with his old GB radio, or whatever they call it. He's known as grass box on the air, you know.
James Rainsford and his son, well, they've been, you know, it's been in that business all their lives, really. Well, I shouldn't think you could get anyone any better than him to do anything, because he's learned his trade right from a boy.
There's a road cuts across our valley, a main one. Thank God it don't run along it.
I can remember, well, when we were kiddies, you see, we used to go around the fields and round the ricks after it got dark nights with our sticks. We used to poke them in the holes of the ricks and get the rats out and kill them. We used to get a penny a tail for any rat that we killed, you see, so the more tails we could get, the more pennies we got, you know.
Then, of course, you come to the village, Fortnum and Mason's.
Closed the curtains and went outside with 3 bowls of Easter eggs. And I found one inside the holes outside the door, just by the record. And one fell down the chute. I also found some on the windowsill ledge. We didn't find any in the daffodils. We found some in the nest, in the tree, where there's barbed wire now. And I also found some in the hose pipe.
I'll tell you a little story there about a bloke. He had a mole on his lawn, and he walking around the lawn, he saw these little heaps, and he said to himself, by God, I'll give £10 to catch that little blighter. And there's a fellow looked over the fence, the Irishman. I'll catch him for you, sir. You will? He said, yeah, yes, I'll catch him for you, sir. I'll give you £10 if you catch him, he said. Right. Next morning, up come the old Irishman. I've got him for you, sir, he said. He had him held up with his little foot. Here he is, sir, he said, all alive, look, I've just caught him for you. The man said, now, here's your £10, he said. Now, you go and give that little devil the worst death you could possibly give him. The worst death you could think of. Yes, sir, he said, right, sir. He went away and he come back. I said, well, did you kill him? He said, I give him the worst death I could think of, sir. I buried the little devil alive. Our little boar in the Swift usually appears in winter. Moorhens and ducks and coots and things nest along its banks. But then the stream sort of disappears, but the birds don't.
The main things now, I mean, are just the church and the chapel, the two sort of, well, I mean, Sunday functions really. There's a few things happens at the chapel here. In the winter, every Wednesday evening they have different things on, you know. On one Sunday, we had a terrific thunderstorm, and the place next door here, my father and my stepmother, they went in there for shelter. And he sat down in one of these old-fashioned wooden chairs, and the thunderbolt came in the chimney. It split the handle of the chair and right down to the floor, and on the back where the lightning struck him, he had an oak tree tattooed on his back. And I'm quite convinced after that my father was never exactly the same, you know. Things aren't like they used to be, you know. There used to be much more activities in the village years ago. Concerts galore we used to have down there. We used to have quite a few dances in the hall and whist drives, various things.
I remember when I first came here, there was at least 15 or 20 different birds, different varieties in this garden and in this lane. I think all we've got now is a few sparrows and a couple of robins. I don't think there's many strangers about here, because this is the last place God made. He didn't stop then to finish it, I don't think. We've had a show here for about 50 years now, apart from during the war. Well, a village is not a village without a flower show, is it? But it rained last year. In the Fox's Prophecy, I think it was published about 1900. The fox is telling a little story, and he said in one of his little verses, "The woodland where my race has bred, unto the axe will yield. Hedgerow and coppice will no longer shade the ever-widening field." And some of these fields here now, they used to be 25 acres, they're now 150 acres or more. There isn't a bush or a tree left in it. There used to be tall elms and oak and ash along this valley. Woods covered the hills. Now the elms have died of disease, and much else has been cut away. The lovely hedges have gone, many lovely trees have gone. Well, only this spring I saw a farmer grubbing out a hedgerow, more like about half a mile of it. It was like watching something being killed.
What is that? This.
But it's on right here. The unusual containers.
Yeah. We've got 9 of them.
Well, I'll tell you how I got involved in the flower show. Henry said we must enter. And then he died. And they came and said, would Donald become president because of all his love of him? He adored it. But alas, he never saw a flower show. While he was president, he died. And darling old Topholm came to me and said they'd all like me to become president. Anyway, I said to dear old Chris Topholm, there's only one proviso, whatever you like. I'll become president. But a little nervous because Brown had become president and died. My beloved boy became president and died. But it wasn't that. I said, ever since we came to the village, the joy of our life is to enter things and take our prizes. And I said, if I become president, I must be allowed to enter and take my prize.
Oh, yes, I mean, you do it so beautifully, but sometimes I make a sponge cake, you know, because I've won several first prizes for my cakes. Yeah. And then, you know, I bottle fruit. I haven't got a deep freeze, you see. So I bottle fruit, you see. And I put one in it, and I've often got prizes for that. And
Are these monsters yours? Yes. You've taken up so much room. Poor man there, I can't put it down on the shelf. Sorry. Isn't it a shame, though? Isn't it lovely?
I always try to enter onions, carrots, runner beans if I can.
Well, I know I have to separate.
Well,
I think that's it. Oh, wait a minute. What we used to do is have a pencil or pen and write this way.
He used to be up at the forestry as a warrener. He kept the rabbits dead, all sorts of things. He had a pretty good job, I think. And then when he retired, he took over a little wood, which we called Netherton, and he's been looking after that for 4 years. Miserable old devil, though. I get on with him all right. Well, he was one of those men who used to have to work for his living. I mean, he used to ride miles to work of a morning on a bike. Thought nothing of it. Today, Christ, they wouldn't walk 10 yards, would they? No. In the old days, we had maypole dancing and pony racing on Dean's Meadow. There was even bare-fisted fights there, but they stopped that when a fellow called Anthony Noon was so badly beaten up that he died.
Okay, would you like to write your name on that card? Just put all pens away. Have you got a pen?
He's doing a tape recorder and was shouting at the people before it started.
Thank you.
No, sorry.
Yes, I'll find it. Yes, I know, she said.
Are you going to hospital, like?
Yes, but I don't know when. It's not definite yet.
You're not going to Russia before you go.
Not going to Russia, I'm going to China, Red
Even
China.
better, even better.
Can I move away from that because I think it's annoying.
Shall I lift you on?
If you want to. Oh. Yeah, hang on to this.
I wish you'd take your nose out of my eye.
Oh, sorry, Judy. Let's have a little dance, then.
Right you are, Mr. Punch. I'll go down the town and get some sausages for your supper. There you are, Mr. Punch. The boys and girls have said what you've done.
The Hurstbourne Tarrant Horticultural Society to give out the prizes, and we are going to start with the gardens and make our way then on to the actual marquee prizes. Garden tended by a pensioner goes to Mrs. Willis together with £2. Mrs. Willis for the President's Cup. A big hand to Mrs. Willis. Class 49, which is sweet peas, goes to Mr. Cutler.
Yes, brother.
Garland goes to Mrs. Dykes for a 2-ton voucher. Goes to Transistor.
Magnificent painting. Well deserved. is thank you. But first of all, I would like to say thank you to whoever governs this wonderful weather for giving us Jubilee weather when we are celebrating our Jubilee year. I think it's a marvellous thing that it should have happened back then. There are several people who need being cashed.
30 here. Would you give 40?
Yes.
No, 40. Anybody give 45? 45, sir? 45. 50? 45 to the gentleman over there with glass. Right, gooseberry jam, 10p. Anybody give 10p for gooseberry jam? 10p. You give 15? No, it's against you. Would you give 15? 15. 20? 20. 25? No, hold on, sir. 25. No. Penny, you give 25? 20p, the gentleman with the dark glass. This lovely cake, 20p. Anybody give 20p? 20, 20. 25? 25. 30? 30? No, 25. You give 30? 30. 35, Mr. Danks? 30 to the lady in pink there, over there. Right, let's have this bunch of flowers. 10p, quickly.
Yes.
10. 20. 30. 40. 50. Anybody else give 50, 60? 60, the gentleman over there.
Of course, the older people now that were in the village when I came, most of them are gone. It's a lot of new people here now.
In the Fox's Prophecy, I think it was published about 1900. The fox is telling a little story, and he said in one of his little verses, "The woodland where my racers bred unto the axe will yield. Hedgerow and coppice will no longer shade the ever-widening field.